Hello, my theme today is what shall I give up for Lent? As we enter this Lenten season, Lent is seen traditionally as a time of self-denial, fasting and doing things to make you feel miserable. Do you give up chocolate, cake, alcohol? In my last church, if I was feeling a bit naughty, which I often was, when they said to me, "Vicar, what are you giving up for Lent?" I either used to say abstinence or giving up going to church. But Lent can be much more than just self-denial, for that in isolation can be a somewhat negative approach to faith. Lent can be about a change, doing things differently. And so today, for the first time this year, I've given up being scruffy and I've put on a collar and tie. Look, well, you might not see me in the collar and tie again for many more months. So, a slight change. And maybe Lent gives us the opportunity of thinking things through a bit and seeing what can change. Maybe we give up watching so much television and use some of that time released to read a book, study the Bible, or dare I say it, even pray. For me, I find Lent study books very helpful as it gets me to focus on Jesus' journey to the cross. It helps me in my mind and spirit to look at that important aspect of our faith when we never will attain it, try and stand alongside Jesus on his journey to the cross. For us to try to look and to understand what Jesus must have felt like in those last few days. What it must have been like to have been betrayed by one of your friends, to being abused, tortured, and ultimately murdered by the Roman killing machine. If we can start to focus on Jesus and his way to the cross, maybe it will help us to frame the thoughts of, why did Jesus have to do it? Did he really die for me? But return to my question, what shall I give up this year for Lent? Actually, the whole world has been giving things up this year due to the pandemic. It has cut through many aspects of our lives. A loss of contact with our grandchildren, our friends and family. The loss of physical contact, of giving people hugs or kisses. Not being able to go out to a restaurant or pub or theatre or cinema. Holidays cancelled. And so on. It's been a time of denial for the better cause. So this Lent will mean for most of us a continuation of giving up in order to try and help overcome the COVID pandemic. But maybe it needn't be quite so negative as that, because our giving up and keeping to the rules will make it slightly better for the country as a whole. Maybe we ought to have a spirit of gratitude. We are still here. I must admit, after I had my first vaccination the other week, I had a great sense of gratitude and thanksgiving to God. Thought how privileged I am to be able to go and have a vaccination free of charge without any fuss or bother. How lucky I am. So maybe this time of Lent It's bound to be quieter for us, but we can take on the spirit of gratitude, to thank God for all what he's given us, even despite the lockdown. But mostly to thank God that in his Son Jesus, he showed us the way to live, that he lived and died sacrificially for us. Maybe spending some time thinking about what Jesus did is a good approach to Lent. Amen.